Hey guys, Goggsy here and welcome to a brand new video. Honestly, I've sat in front of this phone or camera for over an hour, over 3 or 4 different periods of time over the last 24 hours because I wanted to get this video right. The way that football news evolves and develops, this will probably be out of date again in the next 36 to 48 hours, so just bear with me. But yeah, it's a really sad time at the moment being a Motherwell fan. It's not great hearing Kettlewell's left because of the abuse, which I'll get into in the video. But without any further ado, guys, thank you very much for helping me reach 13.1k subscribers. If you haven't subscribed already, feel free to do so. But yeah, without any further ado, let's get into the video. It's going to be a long one, I'm sorry, but there is a lot to digest. Let's get cracking without any more delay. Just another normal Monday. If only. Stuart McCall resigned as Motherwell manager, marking basically a 2-year spell at the club. How am I feeling about it? Quite bittersweet, to be honest. You know, I was just going to work and I got the notification on my phone while I was on the bus, and you know, I didn't expect it, because usually when things are going south at Motherwell, they like to drag the arse out of it. Some managers have overstayed their welcome, so to speak, in the past. But not Stuart. That was a real surprise for me because I didn't think he'd done enough to get sacked yet, as what the board said in this update that came out soon after. So I'm going to read through it and I'm going to give you my initial thoughts. Motherwell Football Club can confirm the club board of directors have very reluctantly accepted the resignation of Stuart Kettlewell today. Stuart approached the chief executive, Brian Caldwell, on Monday morning to explain why he wished to resign. Stuart explained that some of the personal abuse was now affecting his family to the point where they didn't wish to attend games. As a result, he felt it would be best if he tendered his resignation. Since being appointed manager in February 2023, Stuart has managed 92 games overall, boasting a win percentage of 41.3%, the highest of any Motherwell manager since Stuart McCall in 2014. He guided Motherwell to safety, narrowly missing out on top 6 football in his first 3 months in charge, collecting 30 points out of a possible 42, which was a great spell. Honestly, that's not part of the thing, but that was, I would say, I felt really good as a Motherwell fan at that point. The good form ran into 23-24 when Motherwell went 10 league games without a defeat, the longest run since 2010, and again narrowly missing out on top 6 football. This season, he guided the club back to Hampden for the first time in 6 years in the Premier Sports Cup and has the team sitting in 5th in the league currently. All of this was achieved despite the sale of a number of key players for substantial transfer fees. It's really sad that Stuart felt that the time was right to move on, said Brian Caldwell. He had an exceptional record and has generated an impressive amount of transfer income for the club. He has been a critical factor in the development of Motherwell Academy graduates, as well as developing young loan players during his tenure. When Stuart approached me, I was very disappointed to learn the effect that this was having on his family and how he was feeling. No manager, player or club employee, every one of whom gives their all for the club, should feel this way. We therefore had no option but to reluctantly accept his resignation in the best interests of Stuart and his family. As a fan-owned, community-driven football club, we will always look after our own. The club wishes to thank Stuart for his hard work and total dedication during his time at the club. We wish him and his family all the best in the very future. Assistant manager Stephen Frail will take charge of the team for Sunday's match, assisted by John Obika, Richard Foster and the backroom staff. The club will make no further comment at this time. So that was earlier this evening, and it's been a bit of a whirlwind really. We've seen quite a lot of clips come out already on social media, a lot of stuff saying that Stuart's family was badly affected. Well, some people have actually changed the story so much that the Kettlewell family are the object of the abuse now, whereas there's nothing that says in that article there that it was directly at his family. It's just Chinese whispers and it's getting so loud. The problem is nobody deserves the amount of abuse that Stuart Kettlewell got. It's inhumane, and I don't condone it, and that's all very well and good. But let's be honest here, Stuart Kettlewell did not do himself any favours, and I'm not saying this is to back up any sort of feeling of bad will, but the BBC approached me and asked me to come on the air on Saturday after the game against St Johnstone. They asked me on Friday while I was in Porto, and I was like, right, fine, we could badly lose, but I'll still go on because I don't like to sort of back down. I'll be honest with anything. If things are going bad, then I'll say it.
The comments, we touched on this before the programme, and I saw quite the reaction from Motherwell supporters online when Stuart Kettlewell said this midweek, I'm not disregarding or disrespecting anybody, but it's safe to say I'll not be influenced by any noise or opinions from people that have never done the job and never dedicated their life to the game. What's been the general reaction to that from the fans?
Well, in my opinion, I think as a fan-owned club, the last person you want to offend is the people that own the club. So for Kettlewell to be basically disrespecting us as fans, and I mean, he's been in the game for a long time. Like, I watched him when he was playing in 2007, for goodness sake, and like, it's almost like he's forgotten what it's like to have the sort of fandom aspect of football, and I think that's what he's forgotten here. I mentioned, of course, my journey to the game today. It's a bit unusual, but like, there's good people in ML1 and further afield that are making these journeys every week to watch us play, and right now it's not very ambitious. It's almost like we're playing too safe and we're not taking enough risk.
Goggsy, what's your thoughts in the squad? It's Leanne here. I've obviously looked at the number of injuries as well, and I know you can probably look to make excuses for that, but I felt at earlier points in the season when Motherwell probably were carrying much more of a goal threat and looked a bit more robust, there certainly wasn't the number of players out, and certainly the number of key players that are the fans understanding that, you know, a club like Motherwell don't have at their disposal another Lennon Miller to bring off the bench and bring into the fold.
Yeah, well, I think injuries are a part of football. Every club gets them. Like, it's a long season. Like, every team gets affected by injuries. To be fair to Kettlewell, he's been trying in the window this week because we've brought in quite a few players, and that could have had a knock-on effect on today's performance because we tried to flood in too many players at one time, and I think we overused the substitutes. And that might be where the sort of stability in the performance sort of went for me.
Now what you're going to hear is what Stephen Craigan had to say statistically about how we've been this season. Because if you are a regular viewer of the channel, you will see what I have to say every week. And I appreciate everyone who comes on and watches the channel. But Stephen Craigan says it better than I could ever say it.
We love the fans' commitment, Stephen Craigan. Have a chat with Goggsy, your former club, of course, just about the situation you're in. And we'll get Goggsy's thoughts on the manager as well in the next few minutes. But Stephen, just have a wee chat with.
Well, you know, the team's sitting in fifth place, and Stuart is probably every right to think that there's a little bit of overreaction going on. Now, Stuart backed himself and backed his teammates and came out fighting during the week, and I get that. I expect all managers would do that, Kenny. But you know what I've done? I sat down last night and gave myself an exercise. I wrote down what I thought of Motherwell when I watched them playing. And I got up this morning and went on the computer and I went and looked at the stats to see if they married up. So I just put down last night that I thought they never really seem in control of a game. They have spells where they have possession, but they're never knocking on the door for a period of time. It's kind of sparingly going forward and then coming off at times, trying to absorb pressure. Stuart mentioned that after the game himself. Never really carrying the threat that they possibly should for some of the players they have. Maswanisi is the one player that looks as if he can make a difference. And when I got up this morning, I had a look at possession stats. And Motherwell are 12th in the league of possession stats, an average of 38%. Total shots, they're 12th in the league. Shots on target, they're 10th. And their goalkeepers made the most saves in the league. So I'm not criticising anybody. I'm just putting it all together and thinking my eyes and my mind of what I see in the game is actually statistically being backed up. On the flip side to that, you can say, with those numbers, Stuart Kettlewell's done incredibly well to get Motherwell to fifth place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
I know
you can look at it whatever way you want. But for a team that don't spend an awful lot of time with the ball, don't create an awful lot of chances, don't get as many shots off as other teams, conversion rate must be very good compared to others, and they're still sitting fifth. So it's a hard balancing act. Do you criticise or do you praise? I'm not so sure, but I'm not too sure there's longevity in that kind of style or that kind of way they're playing. It eventually catches up with you. That's 3 wins in 14 games.
There are a few things that were missed out. Nothing negative was said about Stuart Kettlewell's time at Motherwell. And I think they have to be brought out. For as much as his first 3 months as Motherwell manager got him 30 points out of a possible 42, the following season in 23-24, we went 15 games without a win. Now 15 games is worth 45 points. So from one extreme to the other, we started off all right. That season we won 3 out of our first 4 games, and we looked very decent, and Theo Baer seemed to be a decent acquisition at the time, and that's before he developed into an even better player than he was. I've had a lot of people commenting and asking my opinion, and when you're on the outside looking into a situation that you probably don't have too much of an idea about, all you're seeing is Motherwell got to a semi-final this season for the first time in 6 years. We're sitting 5th, and we have the 10th highest budget in the league. And on the face of it, things are great if these bad performances are in isolation and they're happening maybe once every month or so, but they're happening every week. I know there is a team above us in the league that is on a much longer run without a win, but it's twice that's happened under Kettlewell now that we've had bad spells. If a team starts playing badly and it's deemed to be out of character, and then it starts going on for a couple of weeks, and then it spreads to a couple of months, that's a point where things need to change. It doesn't have to be the manager necessarily. I said a couple of weeks ago, I thought it was a time for a new tactical direction, like when Stephen Robinson was on the back of a bad run and he reinvented the team. He turned to a 4-3-3 from a 3-5-2, and he basically built the team around Turnbull, Hasty and Campbell, and we were so effective. We won 5 games in a row instantly, and then we just narrowly missed out in top 6, but we looked devoid of ideas at one point, and it's been the same every manager since. But the media is pointing the finger at the Well fans. Now, I'm only one Motherwell fan, and you'll know me by now, I'm sure. I never call for a manager's head. I don't like to see a man lose their job over something that they dedicated so much time and effort into, because I have no doubt that Stuart McCall always gave his best for the club. But when things go sour, things have to change pretty quickly, otherwise we'll be left in the lurch, and we're already in free fall. The league's that competitive, it's so hard to actually drop a position when you've gone so far ahead of people. And in turn, I've been asked what I expect from Motherwell, and that's a fair question, because I think we all have different ideas. In my years developing as a football fan, we went on 6 out of 7 seasons playing in Europe, and unfortunately I never got to go to any of the away games, but seeing us play the likes of Steaua Bucharest, having all these big players like Jibril Cisse coming to Fir Park. We played Theophanis Gekas, who was at Levante at the time. We played Panathinaikos. Those were great things, but my dad let me know that this wasn't the norm. This wasn't the Motherwell that he grew up with. So I didn't take it for granted. We've won 2 away games since the 30th of October. 5 of our last 6 games have been away from home, and we deserve to lose every single one of them. However, we were lucky to get a point at Kilmarnock where they should have won about 3 or 4-0. Not enough has been made of our cup exits under Kettlewell. Last season, when we lost to Morton on a Friday night, we went out with a whimper. The same type of performance that we had against St Johnstone 2 weeks ago when we lost 1-0, going 1-0 down after 7 minutes, and then having the rest of the game to do something about it, and we didn't do anything about it. We've had too many performances like that this season. In the games that we've won this season, I'd only say we've won 3 games since the 13th of July against Edinburgh City in a convincing manner. So that would be the 3-0 win against Edinburgh City in the League Cup, the 3-1 win at Clyde, which we could have won about 7 or 8 if we were actually clinical, and the 3-1 win against Hearts at home on the 25th of August. Since then, we've only won one game by 2 or more goals, which is not everything. But when you look at games that you want to win convincingly, even in the Aberdeen game, that was one of 2 games since the start of December that we've had more shots on target than our opponent, the other being a 4-1 defeat against Dundee, in which we actually played decent. I know I've somewhat magically changed shirts mid-video, but it's Tuesday now. Like, it's taken me that long to properly profile a video together that there's been so many more developments. I'm just going to do a quick wrap-up because there's been a few things that have happened that I just don't agree with. Motherwell fans are turning against each other, and also we are public enemy number 1. Stuart Kettlewell was a media darling. Like, the media did enjoy him, but let's just be honest here. His disciplinary record was shocking. Like, the amount of yellow cards, and well, he got sent off once or twice, I think. Like, if you had a betting market for managers to get a card in a game, then you'd have won a lot of money betting on Stuart Kettlewell. I also disagree with how the Motherwell media team is still churning out content onto socials. I know they've got to keep like the sort of rhythm of what a match week is like, but right now, if I was in charge of the Motherwell social media, I would have a blackout until like Friday when like the press conference happens for pre-Celtic, and then that would be the first thing that should be going out, in my opinion, because the way that this whole situation has been handled has been terrible start to finish, and it's not going to finish for another week or so at least until the new manager comes in. There's something that's not quite adding up for me, and it's something that's so trivial. And Motherwell have posted a video about 4 hours ago today, and it was about Stephen Friel's first training session as caretaker manager.
We can't lose sessions. This is an important session. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, life has to go on, football has to go on, it's your careers at the end of the day, and we want to make sure that we go and get 3 points on Sunday. For you, for the club, and for the manager. Alright, because all the work that he's put in, I think we deserve him to give it everything we possibly can to try and get 3 points against Celtic.
For yous and for the club and for the manager. He has not mentioned the fans at all. It almost feels like the club is pinning everything on the fans because they are so dejected at Stuart Kettlewell having to resign. And it's not a good narrative because in this way the fans get disconnected from the club. And in my opinion, I haven't been any more disconnected than I am now. Like, I go to the matches, but I don't really care for anything else. Like, I support the team on the pitch, but it's got to a point, right? From where we were under Stephen Robinson, I had never been more connected to the club when we had Stephen Robinson in charge. And then Graham Alexander sort of undid all the good work that Stephen Robinson had done. And then we had Stephen Hamill, and we all tried to get behind Stephen Hamill because he's a club legend and he played over 500 games for us. And he was in the youth setup and he did everything. Like, he was Mr. Motherwell. And then Stuart Kettlewell comes in, steadies the ship. And, okay, we were all behind him for a point. We endured 15 matches without a win. I spent over £500 on those 15 matches, and I didn't see us win a game. I try my best to be as positive as I possibly can, but something is stinking right now at the club. And it's just not right. Nothing feels right. Speaking of new manager, there are a few options out there. I like the sound of Graham Arnold coming in, who was the manager of Australia in the 2022 World Cup. I mean, he's already got Apostolos Stamatolopoulos to look after should he come in. It's an experienced head, and that's what we're needing right now. But also, I wouldn't say no to Scott Brown. And here's my logic behind that, because I know instantly there'll be a few Motherwell fans thinking, no, we don't want Scott Brown because of his Celtic connections. But what's wrong with having Celtic or Rangers connections, really? You look at Stuart McCall, who had ties with Rangers, and he had a 45% win ratio and then he left us, and then in the same season he took over Rangers and he kept Motherwell up through the playoffs. I think Scott Brown would be a fantastic appointment, and I think he would come to us, but it's about compensation to Ayr United. He's doing a great job with Ayr United. He's made them a formidable force in the Championship. They're second, they're 2 points off top, and they're winning games comfortably. I think Scott Brown or Graham Arnold is probably my top two. It's not a wide pool to choose from. Not much is going to improve us. Like, if we can get a managerial bounce that can carry us over the line to the top six by match day 33, I think that's all we can ask for right now as fans. And I know that a lot of people are asking me, what do you expect from a Motherwell team? I don't expect us to reinvent the wheel, but I expect us to be competitive and have heart in our performances and show grit and determination. And in the last couple of months, we've shown very little of that. Granted, I know football players always try their best, but sometimes their best isn't good enough, and that's where we need to look at potential changes. There is always that phrase of be careful what you wish for. Like, whatever comes in could be a lot worse than Kettlewell, but really at points, I mean, you've gone 15 matches without a win last season. Now it's 1 win and 9 here. Football works in cycles, and these patterns always come back again, so it doesn't really matter to me who gets hired as the next Motherwell manager. There will always be the same problems. You've got Stephen O'Donnell come out in the press today. He's one of the last people that should be doing so, because he's now on his 5th manager at Motherwell. Callum Slattery's on his 4th. It's just a reoccurring theme of we do okay for a time, and then when shit hits the fan, everyone shits themselves. I understand football fans have a certain expectation of their football club, but for me, if we just get the top 6 this season, I'll be happy. I don't even want Europe at this point, because I can't face going away to Wales and seeing us get beat by Key Nomads or something like that, because that's exactly what's going to happen. So like, I'll just take 6th right now. But yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. This was a difficult video for me to put together. I needed more than a day to put this together. And the way that football evolves news-wise, like, this video is going to be out of date probably within the next 48 hours. So let me know what you think in the comments below. There have probably been many points I've missed out. But I just want to thank Stuart Kettlewell. He probably won't be watching this. I doubt he watched my videos at all. But he gave us some really good moments, like a trip to Hampden, beating Rangers at Ibrox for the first time in the league since 1997. A couple of really good wins against Dundee United, Aberdeen, wins against Hearts and Hibs at Easter Road. We won at Easter Road twice. I hadn't ever seen us win at Easter Road before Kettlewell came in charge, and I've seen us win at Easter Road twice, which is a monkey off my back. But there were also some not so great moments which I'm not going to go over again. But once again, thank you very much, guys, for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, which will be this weekend.